Good afternoon. This is Michael Ever Reef, and I'm here at Starbucks at Westlake and Denny. And I've been thinking about my situation with my contracts to the government, and I think what it really is I was asked to take civil service exams until I was a qualified United States Marshal. Then I was taken down to the courthouse and sworn in, and I was never given anything to prove it: photo ID, badge, gun, and the like, paycheck from the Treasury that reflects that. And I think it was a message to the Justice Department of Washington. Some of the events that happened in my life that sort of makes it seem as if the court system is under siege. And I think the biggest part of it is because when you take a civil service exam, it's good for your entire life. But you have to take so many uh, that people might think here is somewhat being like a prima donna or spoiled in order to become a U.S. Marshal. And be, because the United States Marshal is a posting that basically is a job for your entire life unless you get an impeachment hearing at the U.S. Capitol in Washington D.C. And so I think what is going on, seeing how my contracts are never serviced and I'm not getting the property that's due me that I earned by staying in school and helping out around the courthouse, that certain people have gathered evidence on people like me and went to them and told them, hey, listen, you're in violation to the marshals. And they could have had an attitude of, so what? We're the bosses, we're the smartest people in the courthouse. And, well, that sort of maybe started some animosity between them. And if the president, he's a federal guy, he's a civil servant, if he has to leave in at the latest 8 years, then the marshal should have to leave the post, the base, after 4 to 8 years because it is the law. And some marshals, I guess, are getting much more than 4 to 8 years at one particular post in one particular city, one location, and that is what the fight is all truly, really all about between in the government, between Congress and the marshals and the Supreme Court, because the marshals work at the Supreme Court, and the president is sort of the leader of Congress that says to the court system, hey, we're going to hold you accountable. And I think it got kind of nasty, and that's why well, I'm in a situation I am, but I have been blessed Social Security, and there's some suspicion and there's a wrongful conviction where I was under duress. I was given medication by a doctor, and I was beat up in the jail and stuff. And I on basically with a petty charge that they processed as a felony. They beat me down, and I gave in. Maybe they thought if they put me in jail, they'd find something else on me that was more serious. Well, they didn't because I don't know myself to be a rapist or a murderer, so I don't act that way. And I've talked to a lot of people on the matter, and they say that's all it is, Mike. That's my name, Mike. And so that's the way it's been going. And so now I took the civil service exams, and I really am a philosopher. I'm a scholar. I got a PhD. I got a doctorate in philosophy. So my job, I guess now, in order to help everyone out and try to let them know at least what's going on, is what I'm doing right now. Is to figure it out and say, hey, this is probably what's happening. When the courthouse and everybody looks mean and nasty in the courthouse, hey, if you don't have business there, why don't you just go home for the day instead of getting in the middle of that mess between all the attorneys and the marshals, right? Get ready to duke it out and get ready to be bullets, flying left and right and stuff. It's just one of them jobs in government where you just got to be like a personality. You got to be somebody who sort of is looks at people and says, you know, I like you, you can stay here. I don't like you, get out of here. And you're going to meet a lot of people that say, well, I'm just as qualified as you, and you ain't going to tell me that, because I'll fight you over this base right here, because I paid for it too. And so that's what happens. And you know, it's kind of like the law of easy money. When you work at the courthouse, you get to live at a base, a post. You just get to decide when you're assigned there by the marshal. You get to be the security guard, the gatekeeper, the person who decides who's welcome and who isn't. And you know, they can still hook on the door. A sign on the door says basically open for business, all are welcome, 9 to 5. You know, when people start getting thrown out, well, they come back and they come back mad with all their friends, and then there's a big fight. You know, and if the people in the building that run the place are spoiled, well, it gets even nastier. So that's what's up. That's what I've been thinking about today. I've been trying to get some rest. I've been walking around. My feet they hurt terrible. I don't have a posting. I'm a marshal, but I don't have my marshal credentials, and I don't have a post either. I never really have. I just kind of I get became a marshal, took off Social Service, became a marshal, didn't get any ID to prove it, and then told to go down to the unemployment office or go door to door and fill out a job application. Well, that's what I've been doing my whole life until about 12 years ago when I walked into the clinic and I said, "Hey, I'm not feeling too good. I can't remember who I am. I think I'm missing some facts in my life. That something going on. I'm not too sure what it is. I've been hit over the head. Some guys beat me up a little while ago. Well, they gave me a pill. You know, they knew what was going on, and the pill knocked me out for 5 days, and then there began 9 years of in custody in the state of Virginia. Until finally, by the grace of God, it dawned on me what they were doing, and I drew the strength to tell them to stop. Listen, I'm not your boy, so to speak. I'm not your slave. If this comes down now that my memory to another court proceeding, I'm sure as popular as I'm now, the rest of the people work at this courthouse, you know, you might lose your job, or they might grab a hold of you and throw you out of the base that is next door to the courthouse, or you are holding this place and running it like a slave house or something, because you just don't want to leave. So you just want everybody fighting for you to keep you in a post that was only promised to you for 4 to 8 years. And well, that's the way it goes, right? You know, because command positions are like that. When you're on the board of directors, you know, the marshal gets 4 to 8 years, and if you ain't showing a profit for the company, you're going right along with the marshal when you're an attorney. You're getting out too, your board of directors guys. So because that's the way it is. The rest of the company is usually hundreds, if not thousands, more people in a big company like that. It's got an apartment building. They have an office building somewhere. They go on rotations at the courthouse. They're there for one trial. Sometimes it will last a day, sometimes a week, a month, sometimes a year. And they go in and out of that place, and they're trying to like come to a happy medium. The people that believe in the court system by having the people who work at the courthouse help them figure things out, help us all figure things out, and reveal some facts. That way, people aren't so greedy. They say, okay, I maybe cheated a little bit. Here, you can have some of this money, the person back that I cheated, and that's how it's done. So anyway, I think my case coincides with what happened. Sadly, what happened both times, the Persian Gulf War and the Middle Eastern conflict, because well, those were some of the most difficult years of my life, and where I'm sitting here going, well, they just made me a judge. What am I doing sitting in jail? I'm supposed to be in a police car, driving around in a police car, arresting people, carrying a gun with a police uniform on or a sheriff's uniform on, and I don't have it on. I mean, what's going on? And then around that time, people sneaking up behind me, and well, what happens when people sneak up behind you? And it's just them jobs at the courthouse, man. They pay a lot of money sometimes for. You don't have to do nothing but look pretty usually, and best I can hope for is that people that work there, they don't become lazy. They maybe read books that are oriented with courthouse work. They actually read the law book would be great. Pick a law and write an essay on it, one paragraph essay on a statute. That would be kind of neat if they did that. What they think of the statute. Just to, for posterity that they at least tried, right? To do the right thing. not working at the club, I got these other skills doing other things like auto mechanics, refrigeration mechanics, cooking, landscaping, house remodeling, carpentry. I got a lot of skills like that, but I guess there's a large group that sort of decided to go right to Washington and hold the Human Resources Department accountable at the Criminal Justice Center. I guess they say, well, no, I can't have you in that place. Can't have you in them places anymore. You are number one, I guess, witness for the prosecution of the ones who swore me in, I guess, who were on duty at the time I was sworn in, and then managed to keep getting into the Human Resources Department at the Justice Department. And stuff like that. I mean, they that's basically what they kind of doing. That's why it's like this. So, for the ambitious that are already sort of the local justice already sort of working me over, trying to like get me to join the social life, and well, I'm not a womanizer. But on the same token, I'm not gay either, so I don't feel comfortable with my clothes off around other men. So it gets to be kind of like that. I'm kind of out here like a lot of people call me a dog, kind of like a dog that barks too much sometimes. And well, when they start calling me a bitch, well, I'm getting ready to bite their ass, and I think they planned it that way. So that's where that goes. I'm kind of tired right now. My feet hurt. I ate some chocolate. Bought a bag of fruit, $6 worth of fruit yesterday, and I left it somewhere. I drank a little wine. I was like, left my bag of fruit, but I was offering people fruit, and it was kind of like people like, I was poor people in the neighborhood, I guess. Maybe they found it. I've done it before when I was coming to here. I think I got some astronaut training here in Seattle. I was a police officer, a sheriff, state patrolman. Very short-lived, and they had to use sedatives because they were trying to bring me in to help me understand like how it goes on here. So it was anti-anxiety medication, but it was kind of a little strong, so it just didn't work out quite like everybody thought. Although I was off but I guess a lot of gay police and sheriff and stuff, and it just too uncomfortable for them, I guess. And then it was causing me to get kind of like splashy, I guess, like, and they don't like that, I guess. Even though if you take a look at them, sometimes they're the splashy kind of glam type. I'm kind of like this old fuddy-duddy, they say, but kind of like know too much law, and I'm too sort of easygoing, like, But back then I was really strong, I could bench press, probably 400 or 500 pounds, and I'm only 200 pounds, and I can do twice my weight right in the weight room, right? So, kind of scary, I guess, in that regard. Like if it comes down to like getting slapped by a man who's a little woman or is kind of feminine, them in fear of getting punched, So, but between people that are kind of friends and then with no sex afterwards, they kind of get kind of miserable, I guess. 'Cause that's what they're used to, foreplay. That goes on in relationships, sexual relationships, and so on. It's kind of a bummer, but yeah, I'm not going to pursue it too hard. I mean, I don't want anybody to push me around too much if I fall down or something. But trying to make do that. So I don't know what else to say. I'm just doing these short little broadcasts to try to stay afloat and try to maybe enlighten a few people. See, I never really hired a law firm to help me get my Marshall property. Never really hired them. Although I know like some of these channels I'm on and stuff, they connected to law firms, stuff like that. But in a government capacity, where they surveillance like lawyers, they surveil like the community. I guess they look for people like me to try to sort of maybe help me forget about my problems or something like that. But oh well, huh? Such is life. Just know it. Just as long as you know it, and they come around sniffing, well, you just outwalk them. Don't go run. Mr. chasing you again, right? Just walk a little face, say, "Get away from me." I know you follow me because you want me to try to forget about how your boss man at the courthouse owes me some money because it's profitable to swear people and they have them take civil service and swear them in and not pay them for one thing. Well, if he isn't outright putting my paycheck in his pocket, he's got you all writing about me and uses getting colorful and it's the big seller. And you're making money that way, selling it to another community about how you got a slave in the community. So it's not the biggest secret as everybody thinks. Just gotta be brave when people follow you. You know, they follow you too long or too close. You turn around and say, "Hey, buddy, what you looking for? Do I know you with something?" You know, you look them in the eye, and usually they'll turn tail and run. There's a lot of them. They do that because they want you to like flip out, hit them or something. Because then they put you in jail and then they get your bail money. And they use that as another excuse why it is they didn't give you anything that proved you a government service member in the first place. It's kind of a bunch of fucking bullshit, but that they doing that for. It's kind of like a clique. And that's, a long time ago, it was like deemed kind of facetious, like that it kind of undermines the system. But it's the way it is, I guess. So anyway, I got to end this for now because I'm getting a little worked up. But good talking to you. Hope everybody has a nice day out there. And you too, Glenn. So long.